Love that sound. Our high five camera focusing on the First Tennessee Bank Tower. A special reason tonight. It's located on Madison Avenue and 3rd Street, former site of the elegant building called the Goodwin Institute, first home of WMC-TV. That's where our television station got its start exactly 65 years ago tonight.
And we went digging into the Action News 5 video vault to celebrate WMC's anniversary with a bit of nostalgia.
This is Channel 5 in Memphis on the Mississippi. WMCT, the showplace of the South.
That snappy station identification aired in the 1960s when just about everybody had a TV. But the call letters WMCT began to glow from screens when the entire Mid-South had only an estimated 1,400 TV sets. It was 6:30 p.m. on Saturday, December 11th, 1948. Henry Slavic, first general manager, welcomed our audience.
I had to make a little speech and introduce these people. They were shaking like a leaf, of course.
For the next 4.5 hours, Tennessee's first TV station presented Jack Pennington and his Juniper Junction Varieties Gang, a game of charades between co-eds from Rhodes College and Memphis State, Slim Rhodes and his Mountaineers, a cooking demonstration, and a full-length movie, The Black Doll. The old Memphis, Arkansas bridge that now carries I-55 across the Mississippi hadn't been completed yet when WMC made its debut. It would be a full 5 years before another Memphis TV station would hit the air. The TV pioneers at WMC had to create all their own local programs, all live on the air. A piano player named Burl Oldswanger hosted a show each afternoon with his friends called the Old Swingers. We aired more cooking demonstrations on the Homemakers program. Studio audiences cheered the Channel 5 Club with Bob Smith. Handy Theater was said to be the first all-black TV show in America. And even 65 years ago, live wrestling from Ellis Auditorium was one of the station's most popular programs. Channel 5 could do that from the start because the station had the only remote TV truck in the South. Each evening at dinner time, this image would appear, Evening Serenade, as the station's own 6-piece string ensemble played live.
And each evening, 5 times a week, 6 to 6:30, unsponsored, a string music evening serenade by which people could eat their dinner peacefully, beautiful music. I was very proud of that show. Very costly.
Ladies and gentlemen, we at NBC want to welcome WMC-TV Memphis to the NBC television family.
WMC did affiliate with NBC, but in the early years, being the only station in the Mid-South, we aired programs from all the networks, NBC, ABC, CBS, and the now-defunct Dumont Television Network. WMC presented news, anchored for years by Dick Hawley.
Memphis bank clearing soared to a new all-time high so far in 1954.
Dick Hawley also presented weather reports as well as commercials.
Those particular people who Krause has been serving for the past 70 years know about Krause Hand Finishing Service. Florida Melba. The Cigar Supreme.
We did live commercials, weather shows. I even did some wrestling matches back in the old days.
Standard Oil selected Hawley your SO reporter, and the news was gathered by our forerunners who shot, developed, spliced, and presented film reports on train derailments, city commission meetings, and even perhaps the only surviving sound pictures with E.H. Boss Crump interviewed by a young Trent Wood.
And the game starts at what time?
8 o'clock.
What about tickets? Have they all sold yet?
Probably a few left.
Just a few left. What kind of a crowd are you expecting tonight? All righty, there we have it. The Yale Tech is cheering Mr. Crump here as we stand in front of his building downtown.
WMC moved to 1960 Union in 1958 and became the first Memphis station to broadcast in color. WMC was home to a memorable children's show, Looney Zoo, with Trent Wood and Tiny the Clown, played by Rhodes College professor Ray Hill.
I did the puppets, too, because it was I'm a Emu and
Puppy Dog and Poindexter and Rasputin and Ex-Murgatroyd Mouse.
I will get you right here.
In the 1960s, WMC was first to welcome African Americans to share views on a regular public affairs program, The 40% Speak.
We are 12% of America, 40% of Memphis, and we have something to say.
Airing that program prompted opponents of the civil rights movement to call in bomb threats to WMC on a regular basis. Yet WMC persevered broadcasting the program and covering the civil rights movement. Our camera recorded the speech now enshrined in American history. The Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. on the eve of his assassination.
And I've seen the promised land. I may not get there with you, but I want you to know tonight that we as a people will get to the promised land.
Many adults now in their 50s and 60s recall visiting WMC to be in the audience for Magic Land. Host Dick Williams holds the Guinness Book of World Records mark for longest-running magic show in American television history. August 16, 1977, Action News 5 broke the story that stunned the world. Elvis Presley, the king of rock and roll, had died at his Graceland mansion.
Elvis Presley died here about 3:30 this afternoon.
We covered Elvis's funeral live, even as journalists the world over beat a path to our door. But WMC didn't have a door. We were relocated to a trailer in the parking lot as our station had burned in a June 1977 fire sparked by newspapers left atop radio scanners. Rebuilt, WMC was the first local station to present a broadcast live via satellite.
Live via satellite from Washington, D.C. and live from Memphis. This is a special edition of Action News 5 with Mason Granger.
I sent this report via satellite from Beijing in 1986.
Hello from Beijing, China's capital.
Action News 5 was first to give you an eye in the sky, presenting news live from our own news chopper. We've embraced the digital era as the first local station with a website, WMC-TV.com, and its cousins are news and weather applications that you can access on your smartphone or iPad. Our station was first with a Facebook page and first local TV station to zoom to 100,000 likes from viewers we've grown to love for 6.5 decades now. The television pioneers who founded WMC would be stunned by the advance of technology, and I'm sure our founders are cheering from the big control room in the sky saying, okay, Birch, wrap it up. You're way over your allotted time. It's time to turn things over to Dave and weather, and we're going to be back with Dave Brown and his weather report in just a moment. Dave Brown has one of these fives he used to wear when that was the thing to do on the local news. And I have Derek Rook's tie on as well today. This is our former farm director, TV5, vintage tie there. I don't know that there are many left in the world of these right here, Dave.
That's true.
You know, the Smithsonian's going to be calling for those things at some point.
You know, the blazer patch, we all wore matching blazers, but after the fire we did not. And that my 5 is a replacement that I have now because my original melted in the fire.
Wow, June 1977.
Yeah, it was. It's much better now, though.
65 great years.
Yes, yeah, that's right. Very true, very true. And 65 would be a nice temperature overnight tonight.
Indeed.
But we're not going to hear that for highs or lows for the next few days. Let's look at the Alpha Insurance Camera Network this afternoon.